Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the LNT podcast. It's a lifestyle.
Are you trying to make this a challenge? Holy hecker.
Most recently, we've been getting asked, when should I increase my weight in the gym? I want to make this information easily digestible and aim to make it as clear as possible. So resistance training is a popular form of exercise that can help you build strength, increase muscle mass, and improve your overall physique. However, it's important to approach resistance training with caution and to gradually increase the amount of weight lifted to avoid injury. Let me guide you for when it is appropriate to increase the amount of weight you lift in the gym. I'll give you a few tools and strategies you can implement. Firstly, if you've been resistance training for less than a year, I recommend you focus on your lifting technique and become proficient in your movements. This will help you improve your strength over time and reduce injuries. It's also important to understand the rate at which you can increase the amount of weight lifted will vary depending on your fitness goals, your fitness level, and the type of exercise you're performing. For example, if you're just starting out with resistance training, I recommend you begin with lighter weights, build up a foundation of strength and proper form. As you progress, you can gradually increase the weight lifted, but it's important to do so in a safe and a controlled manner. Now, if you're able to complete a set of your prescribed repetitions with ease, then this may be indication for you to increase the weight lifted. However, it's important to remember that lifting too much weight can lead to injury or poor form, so always err on the side of caution and gradually increase the weight. It's also important to note that the rate at which you can increase the amount of weight lifted may vary depending on the type of exercise you're performing. For example, compound exercises such as squats or deadlifts may require you to progress slower because of the complexity and the demand of multiple muscle groups. Exactly how much weight you should be lifting and how often is going to depend on a number of factors. So you want to consider your training age. Are you at a beginner level, intermediate, or advanced level? What are your goals? Do you want to build strength? Do you want to build hypertrophy? Do you want to build muscular endurance? Stress levels before and after during the workout. Is your head in the gym? Are you focused on your workout? Adequate hydration levels, adequate food intake 24 hours before training, recent sleep quality and quantity. So remember these. It's also important to incorporate proper rest and recovery into your training routine. Overtraining can lead to injury and can hinder progress. Aim to take at least 1 or 2 days off per week and prioritize getting adequate sleep and nutrition. Knowing when to increase the amount of weight lifted in the gym is crucial to building strength and muscle mass. Generally, increasing the weight lifted should be done when you can perform your prescribed repetitions with proper form and the current weight feels challenging, but not overly difficult. So remember to gradually increase weight and prioritize rest and recovery to avoid injury and achieve your optimum results. So let's look into a few ways you can increase in terms of like progressive overload. So this term is a fitness principle, which ensures you must continually increase the difficulty of your strength training in order to keep getting stronger. However, it is crucial to do so in a safe and effective manner. So how can you make your training more difficult? So there's a combination which you can increase weight, you can increase the intensity, you can increase the number of sets, you can reduce the rest in between your sets, and you can alter your tempo, so slow it down. That's a few sort of ways that you can program and increase that structure. So we have what's called percentage-based programming. So athletes normally use this and they're instructed to lift a percentage of their 1 rep max. So an example is you work out your 1 rep max bench press. Let's say it's 100 kgs. Week 1, you may do 6 reps at 75%, which is 75 kgs. Week 2, 80%, that's 80 kgs. Week 3, 85%, which is 85 kgs. And week 4, 90%, that's 90 kgs. Another principle you can use is what's called based on feel. So the lifter will use a desired weight, and this is known as lifting based on feel. So this is depending on the purpose of your day or your day's workout, and the exact stimulus you will use will vary. Another principle you can use is what's called reps in reserve. In strength training, the term reps in reserve refers to the number of repetitions a person can do beyond the set number for a given exercise. For instance, a person would have 2 reps in reserve if they completed a set of 10 repetitions with a challenging weight, but could have done 2 more with the same weight. So during strength training exercises, reps in reserve is commonly used to measure an individual's level of effort. It helps to ensure that a person is able to lift weights that are challenging enough to stimulate muscle growth and strength gains, but not so heavy that you risk injury or burnout. So this is a useful tool that you can use to adjust training intensity for you. For strength training, a rep in reserve of 0 to 10 is considered ideal. This means that you should be able to lift weights that are difficult enough that you cannot do 2 more reps than what you're supposed to do. Another form you can use to measure is rate of perceived exertion. So this is a subjective method of measuring the intensity of your exercise or physical activity without relying on heart rate monitors or sort of other objective measures. It's quite straightforward and useful to determine how hard you're working. Now, for strength training, we advise you to use what's called the Omni Scale of Resistance exercise. So you can use this to measure on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 being extremely easy and 10 being extremely hard. Taking into consideration factors such as breathing, your heart rate, muscle fatigue, how uncomfortable you are with your training. Okay, so athletes, trainers, and yourself can use RPE to monitor and adjust exercise intensity and make sure you're working at the right level to reach your goal. It can also be used for you to, if you're just starting out, to help keep you safe and monitor and make sure that your body is adapting well to the training. Now, I can't stress this enough. Before increasing weight, you want to factor in consistency. Before increasing the weight as a novice, make sure you have been consistent with your training, your lifting, and make sure you're lifting the same weight for several sessions. This will ensure that you have developed a solid foundation of strength and technique. So you want to ensure good form. So ensure that you have proper form and technique for the exercise you're performing. If you're struggling with your current weight and your form is suffering, it is not yet time to increase your weight. If you're looking at your reps and sets, you can easily perform the recommended number of sets and reps for an exercise. It may be time for you to go up. However, make sure you're not sacrificing form for additional weight. Now, sometimes you'll plateau, and that's very common. If you've hit a plateau and are no longer seeing progress, increasing the weight can help to break through this plateau and stimulate further progress. And finally, always looking at your goals. This will dictate when to increase the amount of weight you lift. If your goal is to increase strength or build muscle, gradually increasing the weight over time is necessary. Along the way, you will still get training plateaus. That's just unfortunate, but it's the nature of the game. You will need to use more advanced training principles and be more creative when this happens. In summary, increasing the amount of weight you lift in the gym should be done gradually and safely, taking into account factors such as consistency, form, reps, sets, plateaus, and always your goals. All right. Happy training. Any questions, please comment. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, email. All right. Happy training.
Are you trying to make this a challenge? Holy hiccup.